years ago, I was living in Denver, Colorado, and somebody gave us tickets to Disney on Ice. They gave us 3 tickets. So I brought, and the theme that year was princesses. So I brought my 2 girls. So the 3 of us go to the Pepsi Center in Denver, and now we're watching Disney on Ice. So what they did is they took 3 or 4 stories that had to do with princesses in the Disney stories, like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and Little Mermaid, all these stories, and they sort of capsulized them, and they would, bring out the heroine, and they bring out the main characters, and they go through the conflict, and then coming to the end and the happy ending. And you always know Disney has a formula, right? But because it was done this way, it was so clear what this formula was. Young maiden, tested in some way, fails the test, falls into peril, but don't worry. The prince will come to save her. And this was story after story after story was like this. And I'm going nuts. I'm looking at my girls who are like, watching this whole tinsel thing happen, and this message of, don't worry, your prince is going to save you. And I'm getting angry, and I literally wanted to go up to the gondola and take the microphone and go, are there any other mothers upset about what they're seeing here? But I didn't. It ends. We leave, and of course, when you leave, you have to go through like the souvenir stands. And my girls were like, can I buy this? Can I buy this? I'm like, we're buying nothing. I take them home. I tuck them into bed. And literally, I could see them dreaming about their prince. I wake up my husband, the rabbi. I tell him what just happened. And I asked him, is there anything in the Torah, anything in Tanakh, in the writings, in the prophets, in Jewish lore that backs up this theme? He goes, no. Actually, it's the opposite. And Hanukkah is the perfect example. Do you know that for a woman, after the menorah is lit, she's not allowed to do any work for 30 minutes. Her and the girls of the house sit there, basking in the glow of the menorah, while the husband and the sons set up dinner. Why? Because it was the Jewish women who saved the day at Hanukkah. Just to rewind, I know everybody knows about the Maccabees, but it was really a young Jewish widow. Her name was Yehudit, Judith, Yehudis, who, when the Jewish men were voted to give up and to surrender to the Syrian Greek army, she took strong red wine and strong cheese, put it in a basket, slipped out, went to the enemy in camp, used her womanly ways to get into the Syrian Greek general's tent, fed him the wine and cheese, took his sword when he was drunk, and chopped off his head. And when she chopped it off, she said she remembered Yael. Yael was another woman back in history who, when the enemy general was trying to escape, used her womanly ways and brought him into the tent and took the tent peg and rammed it through his head. What's the theme song of Disney? Someday my prince will come. What's the theme song of the Jewish women? Taken care of business. You should know these stories. You should teach them to your girls and teach them to your boys. When you light the menorah, that light that comes into the home, it's the woman who brings that light. Happy Hanukkah. Chag Sameach. I'm Lori, almost live.